So traditionally, Medicine Hat was a predominantly Caucasian community, quite conservative, and so the face of the city changed in the last decade and a half significantly, and for a better because it became much more diverse. So the influx of Syrian refugees, of course, brought yet another diversity and diverse dimension to the community. It is probably still too early for a lot of people to talk about the incidents of racism and Islamophobia. We are very sure that they exist in the community, but the clients themselves are still kind of, it's a preliminary phase of their settlement, so they're still very kind of quiet about those incidents and not sure, should they be talking openly about that. There's a lot of stigma attached to it. There's a lot of misinformation and myths connected to it. So people often think if I talk openly about it, oh, I might be sent back or I might jeopardize my citizenship or anything like that. But certainly, more incidents we noticed about with the children. So we definitely heard about the bullying incidents, and there was an incident with a Syrian girl on a school bus where where another child tried to pull her hijab off her head. So what we have done on the organizational level is that we focus on education and on spreading the information around. So our settlement workers in school did a lot of sessions on bullying and forms of bullying and how to recognize it, and also some tools for the newcomers, what they can do about it and how they can fight it. And I don't mean fight it in a physical way, but how they can cope with it. It is very important, especially for us in the smaller communities. A lot of times, us in the smaller communities, we feel kind of like forgotten corner of Alberta, right? So exposure to this kind of getting together with the sector and sharing our best practices and all of that, it's really very beneficial for all of us in the sector. One thing that I took from the workshop is definitely all of these great stories and best practices that people shared, and I got some ideas for the projects that I'm taking back to the community. But one thing that kind of stuck with me was when we were doing the exercise about the myths and facts, and when we were asked to respond to those statements with yes or no, just to realize that a lot of these things are not really so black and white as we might think about them, that there's a lot of gray area that you can really interpret it based on your personal experience and on your knowledge or on your personal views. So a lot of things when we were talking about the some of the myths about the Islamophobia and all of that, it was really interesting to see how people reacted, and that a lot of times it was yes but or no but, so that really kind of was a great kind of eye-opener and a learning experience. We see AAISA as a body, advocacy body that is here to support the settlement sector and the work that we do. And we need them. We need them to kind of start initiatives like this and The practice guide that they're talking that will be the outcome of this workshop is really something that we are looking forward to it, because that's another thing that we are missing in the sector. It's kind of a standardized tool, that we all will have access to it and will be able to apply to our work. We all do the great work, but it kind of it helps to have a standardized tool, so that a person in Fort McMurray and person in Medicine Hat have this access to the same tool and same guidelines.